Hi, dear all. I'm Dr. S. Parvati, working as an assistant professor of economics in PG Interest Department of Economics, Kandaswamy Kandas College, Paramati Velur, Namakkal, it's in Tamil Nadu, India. I feel very happy to meet you all once again through this video. In our last video, we discussed on fiscal policy. Today, we are going to have an idea on a monetary policy. Monetary policy and fiscal policy are considered as a sister strategies to achieve macroeconomic goals. Before going to in-depth on this monetary policy, let me know the meaning first. Okay, what is monetary policy? Monetary policy is a measure employed by the central bank or monetary authority to influence the economic activity, specifically by manipulating the supplies of money and credit and by altering rates of interest. Monetary policy consists of the process of drafting, announcing and implementing the plan of action taken by the monetary authority or central bank that controls the quantity of money in an economy and the channels by which a new money is supplied. Okay, monetary policy consists of management of money supply and interest rates aimed at achieving macroeconomic objectives like controlling inflation, achieving full employment, and bring stability in exchange rate and so on. There are, these objectives are achieved by actions such as modifying the interest rate, buying or selling of government bonds, regulating foreign exchange rates, and changing reserves of banks. Okay, monetary policy influence the economy, economic activity mainly through the two major variables. That's one is money or credit supply and the rate of interest. Okay, we are moving to the next slide, which we are going to discuss on the objectives of monetary policy. Here, the major objectives of monetary policy can be categorized under 5 words, that is price stability, economic growth, exchange rate stability, full employment, and equilibrium in the balance of payment. Okay, let us have a discussion one by one. Okay, price stability is perhaps the most important goal which can be pursued most effectively by using monetary policy in a developing country like India. The acceleration of investment activity in the face of a fall in agricultural output creates excessive pressure on prices. The food inflation in India is a proof of this. In such a situation, monetary policy has much to contribute to short-run price stability. Okay, let us look at the economic growth. That means achieving faster rate of economic growth is the another objective of monetary policy. It can promote faster economic growth by making credit cheaper and more readily available. Industry and agriculture require both short and as well as long-term credit. Short-term credits are usually needed to meet out working capital needs, and the long-term credit are needed to meet out fixed capital needs. The need for these two types of credit can be met through commercial banks and development banks. Easy availability of credit at low rates of interest stimulates investment or expansion of society's production capacity. This in its turn enables the economy to grow faster than before. Okay, let us look at the third objective, that is exchange rate stability. In an open economy, that is like India, one whose borders are open to goods and services and financial flows, the exchange rate system is also a central part of monetary policy. In order to prevent a large depreciation and appreciation of the rupees in terms of the foreign currencies, the central bank has to adapt stable monetary measures. Okay. Let us look at the fourth one that is full employment. Achieving full employment and reducing unemployment is the major objective of the monetary policy. Unemployment is regarded as a society dangerous, economically wasteful and morally deplorable. Thus, full employment assumed as the main goal of monetary policy. Monetary policies can influence the level of employment in the economy Let us have an example, that is an expansionary monetary policy generally decreases unemployment and enable rise the employment level because the higher money supply stimulates business activities that lead to the expansion of the job market. Okay, the final one is equilibrium in the balance of payments. Equilibrium in the balance of payments is another objective of monetary policy which emerged significant in the post-war years. This is simply due to the problem of international liquidity on account of the growth of world trade at a more faster speed than the world liquidity. Increasing of deficit in the balance of payments reduces the ability of an economy to achieve other objectives. As a result, many less developed countries have to curtail their imports, which adversely affects development activities. Therefore, monetary authorities makes efforts that equilibrium should be maintained in the balance of payments. Okay, let us look at the types of monetary policy. Usually, in broad speaking, the monetary policies can be categorized as expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. Expansionary monetary policy is also called as easy monetary policy. The purpose of this type of monetary policy is to increase the money supply within the economy by completing actions such as decreasing interest rate, lowering reserve requirements for banks, and purchasing government securities by the central bank. This type of monetary policy helps to lower unemployment rate as well as stimulates business activities and consumer spending. The overall goal of this policy is to fuel economic growth. Nevertheless, it also has an adverse effect, occasionally leading to hyperinflation. Okay. Here in expansionary monetary policy, your more money are spending. The more money equals to more spending. Likewise, contractionary monetary policy is also called as a tight monetary policy. This type of policy is used to decrease the amount of money circulating throughout the economy. It is most often achieved by actions such as selling government bonds, raising interest rates, and increasing the reserve requirements for banks. This method is used when the government wants to avoid inflation. Here, less money and less spending. Okay, let us look at the instruments or tools or implements of monetary policy. Here we are categorizing these instruments into two heads, that is quantitative and qualitative. In quantitative, we are seeing the bank rate, open market operation, required reserve ratio. Here, the instruments or techniques of monetary policy are the same as the techniques of credit control at the disposal of the central bank. First, we look at the quantitative, that is bank rate. That means quantitative methods. The first one is bank rate. Bank rate policy. Here, the quantity measures, also called as general measures or indirect measures. First one is in this quantitative measure is bank rate policy. The bank rate is the minimum lending rate of the central bank at which it rediscounts the first class bills of exchange and government securities held by the central banks. When the central banks finds that inflation has been increasing continuously, it raises the bank rate. So borrowing from the central bank becomes costly and commercial banks borrows less money from the RBI. The commercial banks in reaction raise their lending rates to the business community, and borrowers who further borrow less from the commercial banks, there is a contraction of credit and the prices are checked from the rising further. On the contrary, when the prices are depressed, central bank lowers the bank rate. It is cheap to borrow from the central bank on the part of commercial banks. The latter also lower the lending rates. Businesses are encouraged to borrow more. Investment is encouraged and followed by rise in output, employment, income and demand, and the downward movement of prices is checked. Okay, the second one is open market operation. Open market operation refers to the sale and purchase of securities in the money market by the central bank of the country. When a prices start rising and there is a need to control them, the central bank sells securities. The reserves of commercial banks are reduced and they are not in a position to lend more to the business community or general public. Further, investment is discouraged and the rise in prices is checked. Counterwise, when recessionary forces starts in the economy, the central banks buy securities the reserves of commercial banks are raised, so they lend more to business community and general public. It further rises investment, output, employment, income, and demand in the economy. Hence, the fall in prices is checked. Okay, let us look at the third one. That is required reserve ratio, change in the reserve ratios. Under this method, CRR and SLR are two main deposit ratios which reduce or increases the idle cash balance of the commercial banks. Every bank is required by a law to keep a certain percentage of its total deposits in the form of a reserve fund in its wallets, and also a certain percentage with the central bank. When prices are rising, the central bank raises the reserve ratio. Banks are required to keep more with the central bank. Their reserves are reduced and then they lend less. The value of investment, output, employment and are adversely affected. In the opposite case, when the reserve ratio is lowered, the reserves of commercial banks are raised, they lend more and economic activity is favorably affected. Okay, let us have a look on the qualitative credit control measures. Here we can see the 6 qualitative or selective or direct credit control measures, that is rationing of credit, fixation of marginal requirements, regulation of consumer credit, moral suasion, direct action, and final one is publicity. Okay, rationing of credit. Rationing of credit refers to the fixation of credit quotas for different business activities. Preference treatment will be done to offer loan, which is introduced when the flow of credit is to be checked, particularly for speculative activities in the economy. Okay, the fixation of marginal requirements, the second one, refers to the difference between the current value of the security offered for loan and the value of loan granted. It is a qualitative method of credit control adapted by the central bank in order to stabilize the economy from inflation or deflation. The result is that borrowers are given less money in loans against a specified security. For example, raising the marginal requirements to 70% means that the pledger of securities of the value of rupees 10,000 will be given only 30% of their value, that is 3,000 as loan. In case of a recession in a particular sector, the central bank encourages borrowing by lowering the marginal requirements. Then the third one is consumer credit regulation. Nowadays, we know that most of the consumer durables like TV, fridge, motor car, etc. are available on installment basis financed through the bank credit. Such a credit made available by commercial banks for the purchase of consumer durables is known as a consumer credit. Here, if there is an excess demand for certain consumer durables leading to their higher prices, central bank can reduce consumer credit by the way of increasing down payments and reducing the number of installments of repayment of such credit. On the other hand, if there is a deficit demand for certain specific commodities causing a deflationary situation, central bank can increase the consumer credit by reducing down payment and increasing the number of installments of repayment of such a credit. Okay, then the fourth one is moral suasion. This method is also known as a moral persuasion, as the method that the Reserve Bank of India, being the apex bank, uses here is that of persuading the commercial banks to follow its directions, orders and the flow of credit. It also be a part of meetings between RBI and commercial banks. RBI pursues the commercial banks to follow their policies. RBI puts a pressure on the commercial banks to put a ceiling on credit flow during inflation and be liberal in lending during inflation. Okay, let us have a look on direct action. Direct action under the Banking Regulation Act, the central bank has the authority to take a strict action against any of the commercial banks that refuses to obey the directions given by Reserve Bank of India. There can be a restriction on advancing of loans imposed by Reserve Bank of India on such banks. Okay, the final one is RBI, that is publicity. RBI uses media for the publicity of its views and the current market conditions and its directions that will be required to be implemented by the commercial banks to control the unrest. Though this method is not very successful in developing nations due to the high illiteracy existing, making it difficult for people to understand such a policies. and its implications. Okay, but thus I conclude this video. We focused on meaning, objectives, types of monetary policy along with the quantitative and qualitative instruments. Hope you got clear-cut idea on monetary policy. The Tamil version of the video is also available in the same link. If you like this video, press like icon. Thank you. We will see on our next video. Thank you once again.